Alright, what's up everybody? It's your girl Flossy LaPriest, and this is Vibe with the Floss, and today I'm here with the #1 promoter in the 757. So I think everybody want to know why we here. Who is Capri and who is Miss Amilly?
Okay, well, Amilly, which is the brand, Amilly Ent, that I named it after my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, who raised me. You know, her name was Mildred. She passed away now, but yeah, it's just my brand is in honor of her, the greatest woman I ever met.
Okay,
and Capri, like, it's just me. You just gotta know me. I don't know really, you know, how to answer that, but I'm just me.
So where are we right now? Where
I grew up.
This is where you grew up at?
107 Raleigh Avenue, South Suffolk, Virginia. You know, this is the house where I grew up in, you know, from the time I was born till high school.
Okay, so how was it growing up here as a kid? Like,
I mean, I was a sheltered child. Like, I was shy, you know. I didn't do a lot. I didn't talk a lot. You know, I was just, you know, to myself. I was a grandma baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, had to be in the house before the street lights came on, you know. My grandma be out here calling me. But, you know, I mean, I had a great childhood, and I love my neighborhood, you know. Shout out, I still rep South Suffolk to this day, but yeah, I mean, it was good growing up. But I didn't, you know, like, I didn't do a whole lot. I didn't play a lot. Like, I was real shy. Like, coming up, like, the people that know me, like my parents, you know, my mom, she can't believe, like, who I am now, because as a child, I was, like, always to myself, always super shy, always, you know, like, I ain't do people like that.
Shelter,
so.
Okay. So did you, you were raised here with your grandma and your mom too?
Correct. My mom lived with my grandmother until she had my sister. I have a little sister. She's 10 years younger than me. So once my mom got pregnant with my little sister named Tiffany, she ended up moving out. And, you know, she got her own place at that point. But I still remain here with my grandmother.
Okay.
Because, you know, I'm already in school. My mom worked 3 to 11 shift our whole life. You know, she always worked I don't know, whatever shift you call it, but a 3 to 11 shift. And so I stayed here with my grandmother either after my mom moved out.
Okay, so what? So this is more like the family house, cousins?
Nah, I mean,
just
yeah.
you and your grandma?
Yeah,
and the cousins?
Grandma.
Okay. Did y'all like have little parties and stuff?
Yeah.
And y'all had parties?
Yeah.
So
Grandma.
Even back then you weren't thinking like, oh, I want to, you know, throw a party?
Oh, no, nah. We ain't had those type of parties. I mean, it was like little family gatherings. My grandma used to cook all the time, you know, but ain't want no like parties. So no, I never saw myself being into the party industry, throwing events and things like that.
Okay. So you said you have one sister. How many sisters? I know your sister, by the way. I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, she lives in Georgia. I will.
Yeah.
She lives in Georgia now, but on my mom's side, I have one sibling, which is Tiffany. You know, a lot of y'all know her. She used to work the shows at my door. So that's how a lot of people know my little sister, because she definitely, you know, would hold me down at the door, like Riff House days and stuff like that. But on my dad's side, I have, how many siblings? How many do I have? 2? No, 3. 3 siblings on my dad's side.
And they're younger than you too?
They're one younger, which is my little sister Keena. And 2 older. My brother Marcus. We're like 3 months apart.
Okay.
Me and my brother.
Okay.
So my daddy was a little busy. We was like 3 months apart.
My bad. My bad. No, it wasn't. I mean.
But yeah, me and my brother like 3 months apart. But I believe he is older. And then I have an older sister named Tony.
Okay, so you and the one that's 3 months apart, y'all not really like close like that, or y'all are?
No, we're not. Because like, for one, like my dad, you know, honestly, he really wasn't a part of my life, you know, for majority of my life. So probably when I was about 16 is when I met majority of my dad's side, like my cousins and stuff, you know, Chuck Black, you know, Cherie, his sister, Shanice, like all my cousins.
That's Chuck Black's side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I didn't grow up with them, like even though they're my first cousins, but I didn't grow up with them. I didn't meet them start to meet the family until I was like 16. So me and my brother, and which I'm not sure about their relationship, but I don't even really think my brother was like real, grew up with my dad and stuff like that. Like, I don't think he was real involved in his life, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so me and my brother, like, we're not close. He lives in New York. He's a psychotherapist. So my brother's a doctor. Very smart, he lives in New York, and he lives in some other, I don't know, is it Puerto Rico? I can't remember. Dominican Republic. Like, he flies back and forth, so he has like 2 homes, but we're not close. But I check on him from time to time, and he does the same.
Okay, so your mom and your dad, they were together and then they split up when you were younger?
Yeah, I don't think they ever, I mean, as far as I remember, I don't ever remember a time where they was together, Yeah. But it might have been, obviously they were together at one point, but, none that I remember. It never was a mom and dad type of vibe.
Do you feel like, how was it like not having a dad, like coming up? Did it even matter? Like, did it affect you, or did it make you angry? Like,
I would say it affected me, and it affects me even still to this day. Like nowadays, like my dad, he tries to have a relationship with me. He try to call me, stuff like that. And I will say, that I'm not very receptive, just because it's like now it's kind of like, But, I mean, it is what it is. My family, my mom, my grandma, they did a good job raising me. So I can't say that I felt like I was missing anything. But, I mean, all children need a dad. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, it's, some barriers and difficulties to get over. But, hey.
I definitely am. Well, my dad's dad, we didn't meet him until I was like 14. And like at first, like when I met him, it was like, it's my granddaddy.
Right.
Like I was all excited. From New York, like oh snap. But like with my dad, their relationship was kind of like different. Because it's like my dad was kind of like, how could you not come and get me? Like, how could you come down here, visit, and not see me? And I just think it was like with my granddad, I just believe that it was too much time. Sometimes we can let time go past. Like I have a small nephew, and I didn't really get to grow up, like have him around me as much. And sometimes I be like feeling bad because he doesn't know me as much. But still, I'm me. I'm like, yo, I'm going to get to know my nephew. But for a while, that's how it was. It was like, time I went past, and then, with being a father, I noticed with my grandfather, it's like they don't ever want to be, necessarily like corrected. So every time, like my dad he would avoid my dad because it was kind of like he didn't want to face it. Like I wasn't there, but my dad would still be hurt. Like, well, you know what? All the different steps I had to go through. But going back to what I was saying, sometimes we have time to go past, and I ended up finding out about my grandfather. Like my grandfather went to foster care, like, and we never knew that he grew up really bad. So it's like he never really learned how to be a dad himself. So it's like sometimes we should check on and see like what our what they went through, just so that we don't, because we can't change the past, just to make things different for us.
And I feel that, but it's like, just being in my shoes is well, I ain't gonna say my shoes, but as a lot of kids, it's hard, because at the end of the day, it's still like, I don't care what you went through. Like, I'm your child. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't there. You was there for these children, but you weren't there for me. And now, even though you try, I know that we can't change the past. So I do try, or maybe not, but
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
it's like,
but, I love my father. I'm sure he'll be watching this, but
that's what's
but
yeah, because either way, you became Capri. Maybe if he was around, you might have been a little wild, turned up, like Chuck Blackside, but and it's really dope that you meet Chuck, because I know I've been out of town with you a few times, and whenever I would go, from the first time I would go down there, I went to Atlanta, and you had to go. I think I was going to see Fabulous or somewhere, so y'all had to leave us there, and Chuck and Tana was there. And so they was like, y'all from Virginia? I was like, yeah, I came here with Capri. And Chuck was like, all right, well, we just together. So that whole night we were just, and now after that, it was like every time I see you go somewhere, I'm like, I know Chuck's on it. So it's kind of dope.
Like me and my cousin, like as far as on my dad's side, he is my closest cousin to me, and maybe music, kind of brought us to be closer than everybody else. I don't know, but you know, like he's the closest cousin I have on my father's side. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love Chuck to death. He crazy as hell. Not so much lately.
Yeah,
cool,
he
but
chilling.
but you know, he definitely supports me, shows me a lot of love, encouragement, support, you know. And yeah. So, but me and Chuck are super close. Was just with him last night.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, teenage year, what type of girl were you in high school?
I won't say I was a tomboy, but I was. Like, dresses? No, ever. Heels? Never. Like, I won't say that I was really a tomboy, but I guess I was closer to a tomboy than I was a girl's girl. Like, I won't with all the makeup, hair, you know, dressing cute. I won't with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
How old was you when you had your first boyfriend?
My first boyfriend became my husband. Became my kid's father. So I was 17, you know.
That's around the time you lost your virginity?
Yeah. To him. He lived right down the street.
Right down the street.
And, you know, it's crazy because when I rode down here, I have not been here in years. You know, like, my cousin passed away in this house. And so, which, you know, I haven't been here since. And this street has changed. As you can see, like, compared to our house, look at all the new houses and all the new developments. Mm-hmm. So where my ex-husband lived, they lived on this street down to the left. Mm-hmm. That house isn't even there anymore. It's like a whole new, brand new development. And I'm like, wow, like, but yeah, he was my first, you know, everything became my husband. But yeah, we grew up right here on the same street.
You said you got married young.
Yeah, I got married at 19.
19. Mm-hmm. You have any children?
Yeah, we have 4 children together. I had my first son at 19 as well. I had my son, his birthday's coming up in just like, 2 days. Mm-hmm. His birthday is September the 16th. And I got married the next month, the following month, in October, same year, right after I had my son, my first son.
How was it being a young wife, like, you know, with all your friends going out?
Yeah, like, I didn't have, like, I tell people, you know, all the time, it's like now people see me living and they like, girl, you always outside, you this, you that, you everywhere. I never had I never had the, you know what I mean? I never had the stages going to the club, hanging out with friends. Like, I was a wife and a mom from the time I came out of, you know, high school, basically, you know, so, wow, you know, at the time, you know, we made it work, you know, he was a good man for the most part, but, but yeah, I was a young mom, you know, and then once I had my first son, I continue to have kids, you know. They were basically like stair steps. All my kids, they're like 1.5 years to 2 years apart. So it was like, it never stopped.
Yeah.
So now that they all grown, you know, I definitely live my life, enjoy my life to the fullest.
Okay, so what do they all do? Like, that they all grown, what do they do?
So my oldest son, you know, he is a college graduated from Virginia Union. He's a mental health professional. You know, so that's what he does.
That's what's up.
And my second son, which is my baby boy, he's a teacher. You know, he teaches Math 7 in Norfolk. So this is his first year teaching. And then my daughters, they're both still in college. Okay. Yeah. So my oldest daughter is her last year, but she's, you know, y'all see her, Tatiana. She runs several businesses, catering business,
braid hair.
She works in the shop and she works a job, you know. So but it's her, like I said, her last year in college. And then my youngest daughter is her second year in college. So, and she also works. She works at the Boys and Girls Club. Okay. So yeah, my kids grew up. All of my kids came up after school going to the Boys and Girls Club, and they all worked there. Well, not all. My son that's a teacher, Jaleel, and my baby girl, they work for the Boys and Girls Club still.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Kids,
Boys and Girls Club saved my life. They were the best.
To the Boys and Girls Club.
Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club. Like,
keep them open.
Mr. Reggie, Lamar, like everybody that, you know, I love them. Like, I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, being a single, because, you know, once I divorced my husband, you know, my kids were still very young at that time. So, you know, like, the Boys and Girls Club was clutch. Like, it would be times that Christmas, they would bless my family. Like, bless my kids, you know?
That's what's up.
When my son went to school, Jaleel, the teacher, Oh, did I buy? I don't even think I brought nothing. When he went to college,
That's what's
I don't
up.
think I bought nothing. They brought his TV. They brought like everything. Like they love my kids. They bless my kids. Like I love the Boys and Girls Club. I always support them.
That's what's up. Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club again, keeping the kids off the streets. So far as when it comes to this neighborhood, as a teenager, what type of neighborhood did you say the South would be? Like what? How was it? Like was it violence? Was it quiet?
It was violence everywhere. So we definitely had our share, but it wasn't like a very violent neighborhood. It wasn't like the kids could play outside without fear of being shot. We had fun. Once I grew up a little bit and got into my later teens, 16, 17, started to hang out a little bit more. I used to hang with my husband's twin sister. Her name is Sharon. They're twins. But me and her were best friends coming up. So, yeah, we would, go to the little shot houses, and we used to have a little good time. You know what I'm saying? But it was a fun neighborhood,
That's what's up, because I was
we would go sit and watch the guys at the basketball court. We got a basketball court a couple streets over on 100th Street. We would sit out there, you know what I'm saying, watch the guys, walk across town to Williamstown, and, we used to...
So far as this neighborhood now, is it still that way? Like less, like not very violent?
Not that I hear,
Not
that I hear, because, again, I don't come over here. I really don't even know anybody over here anymore. But, I don't really hear much violence going on in South Suffolk these days,
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what exactly is this neighborhood called?
It's called South Suffolk.
South Suffolk.
South Suffolk.
The South.
The South. That's what we call it.
Where they stick together.
That's what we call it.
But as far as when it comes to being brought up in Suffolk, as a teenager, what did you look forward to doing? Like when you were in high school, did you think you were going to do coming from this area?
I had no clue. I'm going to just be honest. I had no clue on what I was going to do. Like when I went to college, of course, my goal at that time was to work in computers. I always wanted to be a computer analyst. That didn't work out, but I ended up dropping out of college. But I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I never really had any real, that I can remember anyway, real dreams or aspirations like, oh, I want to do this, when I grow up. But
so you ain't have no parties when you was a teenager?
Parties? No.
You didn't?
No. Like I told you, I was secluded. I was very shy for pretty much all my childhood. And like I said, when I got like 16, 17, I used to because my ex-husband and his twin sister's brother, he used to run a shot house. So we would go hang out and party over there with Pepper Tracy. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Tracy. But, I definitely didn't have any parties. I was, as I got older, I did start to, go hang out a little bit, but I was shy. I ain't do a whole lot. I
was kind of shy too.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Very shy, very sensitive, very emotional. Still emotional, but, sometimes.
That's what's up. So being brought up here and by your grandma, what's something that, like an advice that your grandmother gave you when you were younger that you still use to this day, like that you still need,
advice is just, I won't say necessarily advice, but it was just who she was. Like my grandmother, like when I say all the time, like I really feel like, and I know everybody might feel like this about their grandma, but like I really feel like my grandma is like the best person that ever lived, like her heart, And it's like people that knew my grandma and they know me, they always say, you get your heart from her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was just loving, she was caring, she was thoughtful, like she just always cared about everybody else, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people always say I get that from her, but that's what I take from her. Like, so when I built Amilly, and when I first did my logo, I'll never forget. Shout out to Andre Smith, he did my first logo. And when I did it, and I said it's in honor of my grandmother, what I wanted it to, when I give him my concept or whatever, I wanted music because that's what I was doing. But love, you know what I'm saying, I said music and love. Like, give me something that incorporates music and love. And so that's my logo. You see the heart with the CD, still through it because that's what she was, love.
This is like the downtown area part of Suffolk?
Downtown, yeah.
downtown. So what y'all, this where y'all come get y'all clothes from, or
No,
like
we
what's
don't. Hey, look around, you see it.
so what's the history of Suffolk?
What's the what?
The history, like
I mean,
what's Suffolk known for?
peanuts.
Peanut.
Planters peanuts.
So that's how the Peanuts built this, little town, little area.
Nah, it's like right in front of my neighborhood that I grew up in. South Suffolk. It's a peanut factory, and that's what people know Suffolk as. Like,
Hey, what's up?
how you doing? But yeah, this is like the downtown. As you see, a lot of these old buildings, businesses closed, they still here. Like, well, historic.
Your grandma used to come down here back in the day?
Nah.
About it?
Nah.
Was it segregated?
I don't know. I'm not sure. That was a little before my time, but I never heard those stories.
You would say all the types of jobs that y'all would have in Suffolk that most of the adults had.
Planners, again, which is the peanut factory. Lipton tea, that was like a little factory where they made Lipton tea. What else? A warehouse. I mean, like in Suffolk, or overseas hospitals. So, if you were in the medical field, like that was really, well, it wasn't my first job, but I worked at overseas, for some time. But like if you're in the medical field, overseas, like, but Suffolk don't really, Suffolk is just Suffolk. We got a hospital, where of course they employ a lot of people in warehouses, for the most part. We have some chemical plants and things, on the other side of Suffolk.
Okay. What exactly made you want to promote?
Well, it was one of those things where I never, intended or wanted to do it, but basically, I was, one of my cousins, she introduced me to this artist by the name of LaRon Bishop. Shout out to LaRon Bishop. And so, me and him became friends or whatever. He did music. I always loved music. Never had been on the independent artist scene, but always just loved music in general. So once me and him got cool, he started having his shows. I started going to the shows, like, okay, I'm gonna go to the shows to support you. So by doing that, I liked it, I liked it. So I started going to shows when he won't there, Like I was just a heavy supporter, So I was meeting all the other artists and, promoters or whoever, whatever. And from there, I met Double XL, CEOP. At the time that I was coming up, they pretty much was running the scenes and having the independent, artist showcases that everybody was getting on. So they ended up at one point reaching out to me to help put together the Suffolk showcase. They knew I was from Suffolk, and they were like, you in the scene heavy. I know you know the lit artists out there, and so and there was a guy named Smurf. Me and him, he kind of helped me put together the Suffolk showcase, and from there it was on. I had that first Suffolk showcase. It was at Paradigm. And it was amazing. Like, it was just a feeling that I was like, wow, like, it was crazy. It was super crazy. Like, like very full of talent, just building pack, like just good vibes. Like, and so once I threw that first one, with their instruction, that was it. And from there it was like, oh yeah, I love this. And I never stopped. And I'm still here,
That's so. So, what type of restaurants and bars did y'all go to coming up? Do y'all have any bars?
I mean,
did y'all go to the beach and party?
Once again, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that partying and going to bars and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, we did from what, teenage years. It was this. I think it used to be an Old Belos, but it was this spot called Safeway, where they would have the little dances. Again, I only been maybe twice, because that wasn't my thing at the time. But everybody used to do that. As we got grown, we haven't really had many clubs. We had a club called was it City Lights? Seven Cities. Seven Cities. And did Jeezy come there? Jeezy came there, and I went. And that was when Jeezy first came out, like TM 101. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jeezy. Shout out to you, babe. I love you always and forever. But yeah, like I'm just saying, like, you know, gotta shout out, babe. Hey, Bookie, but yeah. So like we had that club, and I mean we had a couple little bars and stuff, but. You know, I never really. Everything would get shut down for one. Like, we was not. I feel like we weren't used to having shit. So, you know, everything we had, they want to fight. They want to do whatever. That'll get shut down. They might try to start another little joint somewhere. We never had nothing that lasted and that was worth, you know, like really lit that I can recall. But again, I won't outside like that either because once I did get grown, you know, I was married. Kids, so that won't really my lane.
When it comes to rappers from like the city itself, or rappers, actors, just entertainment, who would you say had the biggest impact, like for the city itself?
Just as far as entertainment as a whole. Drinking on Sunday. Shout out to Drinking on Sunday. They definitely made a major impact, you know, for the city of Suffolk. Shout out to Doughboy Entertainment. You know, Doe was one of them. That's my brother. Like, he, you know, I didn't know him growing up. I met him as I got grown and became on the music scene, but he was one of them ones that's like, he was doing all the big shit. You know, like, he knew all the celebrities. He was bringing all the celebrities to town, throwing all the big parties, you know. So, Drinking on Sunday, Doe, as far as just entertainment as a whole, you know, as far as artists, you know, in particular, Hoffler Boys, you know, like you can't speak Suffolk, especially if you was around back then. Like Hoffler Boys really ran it, you know what I mean? Like they was them guys. Shout out to Tyro, shout out to Mr. V.A. Reese. But yeah, they was really them guys. Hoffler Boys, Ill Indies, you know, Bossed Up, Chuck Black, like, you know, like I
like Bossed Up.
Yeah,
now,
Bossed
I
Up,
came, like around.
Yeah, I mean, and Bossed Up, you know, it's crazy because I don't even think I knew Bossed Up. The stuff, did I know them? Because I feel like that might have been one of Smurf's picks for the Suffolk show. Because I don't think I knew Bossed Up at that time. Because Bossed Up really wasn't on the scene yet, from what I'm remembering. But yeah, Bossed Up, they definitely one of my favorite, hands down, Suffolk groups. Like, number one, like, let's be honest. Like, everybody know I love Bossed Up. Bossed Up they always was the package, you know what I'm saying? They always came with the energy. They made dope music. They always just did their part, you know what I'm saying? They come to the shows deep, you know what I'm saying? They rolling out of town, like, they doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to them guys, but yeah, that's, you know, just a few of the Suffolk artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of them I love. Baby Blue, you know, like, he's one of the newer, he's not really new now, but, you know, but as far as one of the newer artists, that's my favorite. Everybody know I love Baby Blue. You know, I met him on the internet, like, this girl named Muffin, she tagged me in one of his freestyles. I didn't know him, you know, because Blue is so much younger than me, and he wasn't on the scene, so she tagged me in one of his freestyles, one of his car confessions. Like, who was this dude? Like, why y'all ain't, who is he? Why y'all ain't been telling me about him? It was so fire. And from the time we locked in, we've been locked in, you know what I'm saying? Like, on, you know, music, no music, I don't care what he doing. Like, I love Blue to death, you know what I'm saying? And I know the feeling's mutual. But, I mean, we got some... Yeah.
Athletes, as far as like, let's think back to high school. What high school did you go to?
I went to Lakeland.
Lakeland?
I went to Lakeland. Athletes? I mean, as far as athletes, the only athletes I really can remember, like, off the top was, like, they didn't even go to my school. They went to Nansemond River.
Sugar Rogers?
Nah, not even Sugar. Sugar's younger, you know? Sugar's a lot younger. Antoine Willie.
Antoine,
you know,
okay.
Montoria Valentine, rest in peace, Buki. He's passed on, but like, You know, they definitely, back in the day when we used to go to the high school games, they was the ones, you know, they was the ones.
That's what's
They
up.
was the ones.
So we're coming up out here, and you know, you say sports. I know when I would come to Suffolk, we would always go to my aunt's house, and my cousins was like, "Come on, we going to the court." So I know basketball was like major, like it was something that a lot.
We had what's the guy name? He went pro. He was from South Suffolk, where I grew up.
I'm not sure. So you got to know this. You got.
I can't think of his name. He was from South Suffolk. I could see his face, but I just can't think of his name. But yeah, he was from South Suffolk, and he went pro. I can't even really remember who he was playing with, because again, I was younger, you know, then when he was making his mark. But you know,
Yeah, that's what's up.
shout out to him, whatever his name is. Somebody watching on comment and tell me who he is, because y'all know him.
Yeah.
I just can't think of his name off the top of my head, but.
I went to Indian River, and Suffolk was our district. Everybody, we would just blow them out.
Right.
And when we came over here, and we had to play Nasman, like it was first.
I'm trying to tell you.
I was like, yo, who are these people? But mind you, we already was coming out here to play with them, but I didn't play the girls.
Right.
So I was just like, yo, who is these? And then, you know, Sugar Rogers. So, like at practice, I remember my coach, who would always make me, he was like, nah, you got to be, because I was quick. He was like, we got to find somebody that's going to play Sugar.
Right.
Triple team or double team. And we had a girl by the name of Chanel Williams. Chanel was nice, but the problem was Sugar was taller than her.
Right.
But you know, Sugar like a guard.
Right.
So it was like, but she
can't mess with Suffolk. Shout out to Sugar Rogers. Y'all can't mess with her.
So Suffolk, when it comes to basketball, like that's what I knew Suffolk for. So,
that's what's up.
As far as like studios, like a couple of engineers in the area. I know we are downtown right now, so we're about to go and check out Karan Super K studio. So who are some other engineers that you would like say you would refer from the area?
Super K, that's all I got. You know, that's all I got. Super K. That's all I got. That's it. You know, like back in the day, I remember we had Dream Rich Studios. Shout out to Derek, but I don't think he into music anymore, you know, but Super K, all I got, you know what I'm saying? Still running the studios, still, you know, photography, videography, you know, shooting events, you know. He that guy.
I know, right?
He that guy. Everybody know I love Super K. Like, he's just creative, you know, like, you know, we got a couple of other videographers that I rock with. Shout out to Rich G as well. But, you know, me and Super K, like, our relationship is different, you know, because Super K knew me before I threw my first show. You know, Super K was throwing events. I used to work his front door. Like, I was the door girl. You know what I mean? I was the door girl. So, you know, like, he was there with me from the beginning to now, you know what I'm saying? So, and he's just good at what he does, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's very creative. It's like, you don't got to give him no direction. It's like, you know, he put them recaps together. You be like, what? We used to call him the hold on, I might say it wrong, but it was the instant profile pic. I can't remember exactly how we used to say it, but basically when he would shoot my shows, he would be, you know, the photographer. And so any of his pics, all the artists made it their profile pictures. Like, they was just that dope. Like, he would get the best shots. Like, yeah, so.
I can definitely say
and get the moments that you like, how you get that? Get the hugs, get the cries, like, just getting everything. Like, but yeah, you know. But yeah, other than Super K, like, honestly, you know,
well, I'm glad I met him, because he shows you some great podcasts.
Oh, yeah?
For me, yeah. You know, that's why I met Karan through you. You know, in Atlanta. I think we met in Atlanta. He recorded the first time in Atlanta. So, yeah. So let's go check out the studio, finish up in there.
All
Ready? All right. But, so, yeah, going back to what I was saying, you made me look at it like, okay, I appreciate them. Yeah. Like, you know, even the other, you know, 2 other promoters that I work with, but that's what helped me, being able to just work with everybody. And I know, and try to stay out the mix. Me, I didn't have any rappers that I ever hung with.
Right.
Not one.
Right. into lights. And also, Lights, you know, he got the new Crash Out single with Meek Mills, you know, on Friday. He'll be coming to the city, you know, and I got a couple artists opening up for that as well. But, you know, pretty much like a lot of the artists that, industry artists that come here, you know, like they're reaching out to me to see, you know, and this is very important. Let me say this before we go. Like, you know, when the promoters are reaching out, like a lot of times they let me choose, but sometimes they just want my opinion and then they go check you out. So what they be looking for? People that's lit. You got to be lit. So, you know, like, don't be mad if you don't get chose, because they want people that obviously can bring a crowd, people that people want to see, you know what I'm saying? So that might be something that a lot of people need to work on, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then of course they want people that's dope, that's going to entertain the crowd.
So I've noticed in your platform over the years, a person, they say, because I know a lot of times people always say, you know, well, you don't do the different music, different guys, and I can say myself with you being a Gifted Hands manager, Gifted Hands, you know, he doesn't cuss in his music, it's positive. So I can just say, for an example, that platform, I know that your platform does help artists grow their brand, and I would
I always tell people, you know, I'm just here. I can only do what I can do, you know, but what I can do is put you in front of people, put you on the radio, you know what I'm saying, take you out of town. You know, I can only do what I can do, but you just got to continue to do your part, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these stages and platforms are to help you build, you know, like the platform itself is not going to make you the big celebrity you want to be, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to help you get ready for that, you know, because I've been to concerts where artists don't even know how to perform. It's like, yeah, they missed the open mic. It's like, bro, you should have came to my open mic because you don't even know your words. You don't even know how to perform. So that's what these platforms are, to help build you. They're not to, you know, they're not going to necessarily take you to the next level, but they're there to, it's like stepping stones, you know, and once you outgrow the platform, move on, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, but thank you, you know, for having me, and Thank you for everybody that supports and rocks with my platform and appreciates what I do and bring to the area, you know what I'm saying? Because regardless of what anybody say, regardless of how anybody feel, I know what I bring to the table. And I appreciate everybody that, you know what I'm saying, that definitely rocks with me and support me, because without the people, none of us ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? So anybody that support Amilly Ent in any respect, you know what I'm saying, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you, and it's nothing but respect. Don't come to me talking nothing about Capri. I'm going to give you the rundown and be like, you full of shit, man. Don't be mad because she recording you and ain't recording somebody else, and go sit down when it's your
Yeah, I be sad, man. I'm old, man. My feet be hurting.
She be at work all day.
Yeah.
She can't record everybody.
And it don't be no shade to nobody, but I definitely try to listen to everybody, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, hear them out, you know what I'm saying, for sure. So, you know, it's all love with anybody. Anybody got any slight towards me, come talk to me, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk to people, talk to me. I'm approachable. Pull up at my event. Like, let me holler at you. I just had a guy that did that at Chuck Black event. You know, he was like, I feel like you, da-da-da. And I had to explain to him, like, no, it ain't like that. I always liked you. You used to be on my shows all the time. Like, what you mean? You always was dope. You know what I'm saying? But it don't be like that. People really, it don't be no shade to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? He was just on my event last week. You know, after we had that talk, because he was feeling a way about me that it won't even there. Like, it won't even no problem. It's just like out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? If I don't see you and you ain't in my vicinity, you know, when I'm putting this together, well, I'm going to think about you, and I might not have seen no post from you in 6 months. That don't mean you ain't posted nothing. But it's just like out of sight, out of mind. Like, it's a million artists out here. I can't keep up with everybody, you know what I'm saying? But, like, make yourself known.
All right, and so where we going to follow you at?
Amilly Ent on Instagram, Capri Lawrence on Facebook. Yeah. Follow me. Check out my next event. Shout out to Flossy. We vibing with the Floss. Okay.
And yeah, follow me on Instagram at @Iam_Floss before I get up out of here. About to ride through Whaleyville, drop the Taylor off on the countryside. But thanks y'all for tuning in.